Eben Alexander taught and performed neurosurgery at the Harvard Medical School for 15 years. In 2008, his career took an unexpected turn, one that would give him profound insight into the possibility of life after death. He contracted an extremely rare form of bacterial meningitis and fell into a deep coma.
I think if you were trying to come up with an experimental model that would best approach human death, meningitis is perfect, because what it does is it attacks the entire outer surface of the brain. These are horizontal images taken through my skull, and you can see the entire outer surface of the brain was coated with pus. These bacteria had gotten rid of all the glucose, and now the only thing left to consume were my brain cells. And so my entire neocortex, that part of the brain that makes us human, was completely shut down.
After 7 days of virtual brain death, Alexander emerged from the coma. Miraculously, within a month, he was back to normal. But something happened to him while he was away.
My first recollection from deep inside the coma was that it's what I sometimes call the earthworm eye view of the world. Everything was kind of murky, brown, red, dark. I literally remember roots over my head, and I seemed to be there for a very, very long time. I had no memory whatsoever of my life, no words, my language was gone. I was certainly not aware of anything going on around me in the ICU room. And then in the midst of that, there was a little melody that was spinning in front of me, and it just started spinning and expanded. And it ended up clearing away all that ugly, foreboding, gross, muddy realm. And all of a sudden, I was coming up into this beautiful meadow. I had no body awareness. I had no arms, legs, or anything, but I was aware that I was a speck on a butterfly wing. Absolutely beautiful butterfly. And there were millions of other colorful butterflies looping and swirling all around us, all in this beautiful formation of flying. And then we left this universe and went out into what I now call the core. At first it seemed infinitely huge and dark, although I was there with that beautiful, warm awareness of the divine, which was clearly what we would call God, in this place outside the universe. Basically, I recall the whole multiverse being out in front of me. It was very clear that love was a huge part of the constituent of that whole multiverse.
Alexander had faced something that tens of thousands of people have reported: a near-death experience. Nearly all claim something that science has so far been unable to prove, that there is another existence beyond the one we know.
This was something that was very difficult for me to explain from a neuroscientific standpoint, and the scientific side of me could not see how that could be, and yet it was a very, very powerful memory. I came up with several models having to do with neurophysiology and neuroanatomy, and the problem is none of those models sufficiently explain the very powerful memories that I brought back with me from this experience. And I ended up at a point where I do not believe that there is a good neurophysiologic explanation for what happened to me.